Learning English can be the best investment of your life if you are a developer. Today I will give you all the tips and tricks, resources, tools and advice that made me successful in just a few months. Stay with me until the end of the video because I will also give you a special bonus for free. I don't need to explain you why learning English is important. If you are on this video, you already know it, but I believe people still underestimate the possible career growth opportunities. If you are a developer with the right set of technical and communication skills, you can work for a lot of different companies, sometimes 100% remotely. The first important thing that you need to know is that you don't need to be perfect. We are developers, not Shakespeare. Last year I joined a company. We were something like 10 engineers from 8 countries. And guess what? No one was a native speaker. Everyone else had the same issues initially. And all my colleagues were really supportive and comprehensive. So take a deep breath and relax. If I did it, you can do it as well. This is the Oxford Dictionary. It contains more than 170,000 words. Usually, people use around 30 or 40,000 words, but in our case, we just need a subset of them. Let's say 10,000. Now it sounds less scary, right? We need a general simple vocabulary containing words like meeting or solution and a domain-specific vocabulary with words like framework or server. Talking about verbs, 99% of the time you will just need present simple, past simple and guess what? Future simple. Like every skill, this simple grammar is 100% learnable. You just need a good understanding of the basics and then a lot of practice. We can divide fluency into 4 areas: reading, listening, writing and speaking. I sorted them in order of difficulty for me. First of all, reading. Reading is the ability to read and understand the text. In order to improve your reading skills, you must read a lot and make English part of your day. This is valid for all the fluency sections. One simple thing you can do is to set the language of your devices into English. I'm a big fan of technical books and I use them as well to improve my reading skills. My suggestion here is to find content related to topics that you already like and then read about them as much as you can. You can also set Google News or your RSS feed to suggest you daily news in English. As a more general advice, if you really want to speed up your learning, you can substitute social media with apps like Duolingo. Duolingo is a language learning app that has been developed to create a positive addiction with a lot of gamification techniques. More about that later on. No, Duolingo is not the sponsor of the video, but it actually really works, so it's worth sponsoring it, even for free. Then we have listening. I have great news for you. If you are capable to understand this video, then your listening skills are already good enough. If you want to further improve your skills, I have just a few really useful tricks. First of all, you can start with educational YouTube channels like TED. There you will find a lot of short and engaging content. A lot of people advise to watch films or TV series. Personally, I watch films or series that I already watched in the past, so that I already know the plot and I can laser focus on the language, the pronunciation and the slang. Using subtitles is up to you. I think you should start with your native language subtitles, then swap them to English and then remove them at all. Even today I have difficulties watching some films without subtitles, so don't worry, you don't need to be perfect. There are a lot of accents out there, and in order to understand more or less everything, you may want to filter your content with something from US, something from UK, and so on. In order to improve your technical listening skills, YouTube is the perfect place for me. You will find a lot of mock interviews, tech talks, tutorials and more in general tech content. I know, when you start it will be hard because you will need a lot of brain power to decode all the informations. And sometimes you will be frustrated, but don't give up because it's time to reach the next fluency section. Writing. Hey, before we continue, if you are enjoying this content, please hit like and subscribe. It takes me countless hours to write, record and edit this kind of videos and your help really matters. If you want to stay updated with all the new things I will publish, please turn on the bell as well. Next section, writing. I have to say that nowadays we are really lucky. We can leverage tools like Grammarly, Killbot and ChatGPT to improve our writing skills in no time. Like all the other fluency areas, you will need to practice a lot, but how to do it? You can start writing on LinkedIn or you can write the script for a YouTube video. Initially, your focus must be on conveying the message clearly. This is the most important thing. And keep in mind the context. An email to your boss will look different from a Slack message to a colleague. You can enrich your vocabulary using apps like Duolingo, Busuu, or even good grammar books. When you try to write something and you cannot find the perfect word, you can just paraphrase, or you can search the translation in your native language. In this way, you will learn a new vocabulary, but keep in mind to use it next time. How to improve your technical writing? I think that a mix of practice and feedback is the best option. You can volunteer to write the docs of your project, and then ask for a review from your peers and your manager. Alternatively, you can publish a blog post or a newsletter. Also, during meetings, you can volunteer to keep notes. The first times it will be really hard, but eventually it will become more or less an automatic process. If you don't work in a company that uses English as the main language, you can contribute to open source projects by writing documentation. Even if you work on the code, you can write PR descriptions, you can help people solve issues, and this can all be done with written communication. Last but not least, the elephant in the room, the giant that scared me for years. Speaking. When you write something, you have more or less all the time you need. You can check on Google Translate or DeepL, you can read what you've written, and usually you can even edit what you've wrote to fix typos. When you are speaking, you don't have any of that. You are alone on the stage. You have to perform live. Time is limited, and people will hear you and probably judge you. This sounds really scary, right? The speaking blocked me for too many years, but then I decided to change that. As promised at the start of this video, I have something really special for you. I know how difficult it can be to speak with others, and also finding opportunities to practice is not that easy. That's why I decided to give you a free speaking session together. You just need to drop a comment on the video explaining why you want to improve your English, send me a connection on LinkedIn with a message, and we will find the time together to have a free speaking session. Don't be scared, that's a great opportunity to validate your knowledge and get feedbacks about how to improve. I decided to not invest money in apps like Cambly or Preply because I wanted to do it by myself. But then, in retrospective, this wasn't the best idea. If you have the budget, I highly recommend you to find a tutor, but if you're like me, then you can use these simple tricks. First of all, you can go on Facebook groups of people that are preparing for exams like the IELTS. During the IELTS exam, you will have a speaking session, and people love to take mock exams with strangers to improve their fluency. I used this method in the past and it worked really well. Apart from that, something else that you can evaluate is to join an online community of people that are learning the same topics. Let's say that you're learning JavaScript. In this case, you can find someone else and then study together. Then you can explain what you learned during that day in a 10 or 15 minutes conversation. Doing this daily will help a lot in gaining confidence in your skills. As an alternative, if you're crazy like me, you can open a YouTube channel or even a podcast. I started this YouTube channel also to improve my fluency, other than having a lot of fun. And after a few months, I can say that it helped both for the writing and for the speaking. Talking about pronunciation, do you think someone cares? Not really. Pronunciation, of course, is really important. But as soon as you are able to convey your message, then you're fine. Of course, having a good pronunciation is really cool, but I also make tons of mistakes and it doesn't affect my job at all. Also, sometimes people are scared about their accent. Don't worry about that. Your accent is part of your personality. Online, you can find also a video of a girl speaking with multiple accents, and I can confirm that in a multicultural environment, that's exactly what you will hear. Alright, we addressed all the areas of fluency, and I really hope you have now a better understanding of how to improve for each of the 4 fluency areas. Overall, learning English during your career will probably be mandatory, but the earlier you will invest time and energy, the better it will be. If you have any question about topics that I didn't cover in this video, feel free to drop all your doubts in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this content, and keep in mind that just by contacting me, you will have a free speaking session together. I will not try to sell you anything, of course. I just do it to give back to the community. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon.